Hi everybody. So this video is here to sort of reset your brain a little in terms of what you learned in high school about essay writing, at least a little bit. Specifically, I want to talk about something you may or may not know the real name of, but I guarantee you learned as the go-to way to structure your papers. And that structure is called the five-paragraph theme. This is the first of a series of videos that talks more about the craft, the tools you're going to be using to discuss the content we'll be learning, even in this first unit about crime and punishment. So in high school, the SAT and other standardized testing formulas value a very formulaic, rigid approach to essay writing. Some students who have mastered that form and enjoyed a lot of success from doing so assume that college writing is simply more of the same, that the skills that go into a very basic kind of essay, often called the five-paragraph theme, are indispensable. If you're good at a five-paragraph theme, then you're good at identifying a clear and consistent thesis, arranging cohesive paragraphs, organizing evidence for key points, and situating an argument within a broader context through the intro and the conclusion. All good things. And in fact, the five-paragraph theme is probably what you're very, very used to. The introductory paragraph starts broad and gradually narrows to a thesis, which readers expect to find at the very end of that paragraph. In this idealized format, the thesis invokes the magic number of three body paragraphs for three reasons that help support your thesis. And then the final paragraph usually restates the thesis before gradually getting broader. The format is easy for readers to follow, and it helps writers organize their points and the evidence that goes with them. That's why you learn this format. However, in college, we are going to start to want you to break free from it. It's not that this format can't still help you, particularly in time brights, but you're going to notice as you move throughout Composition 1 and Composition 2 in your upper level classes, we're going to want you to do new and more challenging things in terms of structure of writing papers. And I'm going to try in this class to set you on that path by giving you some early steps to get there. Ultimately, this is a really cool place of where we'd want to get you. This next slide represents a paper on the same topic that has a more organic form expected in college. The first key difference is the thesis. Rather than simply positing a number of reasons to think that something is true, it puts forward an arguable statement, one with which a reasonable person might disagree. An arguable thesis gives the paper purpose. It surprises readers and draws them in. You hope your reader thinks, why would they come to that conclusion? And then feels compelled to read on. The body paragraphs then build on one another to carry out this ambitious argument. In the classic five-paragraph theme, it hardly matters which of the reasons you explain first or second. In the more organic structure, each paragraph specifically leads to the next. The reasons are still there, but they help to tell a story. The last key difference is seen in the conclusion. Because the organic essay is driven by an ambitious, non-obvious argument, the reader comes to the concluding section thinking, okay, I'm convinced by the argument. What do you, author, make of it? Why does it matter? The conclusion of an organically structured paper has a real job to do. It doesn't just reiterate the thesis. It does not just reiterate the thesis. It explains why that thesis matters, why your papers matter, why your ideas matter. Now that example previously is where we ultimately want to get you by the end of college. It's not necessarily where we're going to start. But I think there are a few important takeaways that I am going to ask you to do this semester and ways to kind of start to unpack and deconstruct that five-paragraph theme. We'll be taking this process very slowly, but I wanted to at least leave you these three goals. The first is that theses with three reasons are okay, but you're probably going to need at least more than one paragraph per reason. In a paper that's 4 to 5 pages long, one paragraph per reason is not okay. Also, it's totally fine to work with less than 3 reasons or more than 3 reasons. It all depends on what you're writing about and why. Something I'm going to try to get you guys to move away from this semester is to not start general in the introduction. Talk about boring. We'll discuss this in a lot more detail, but the worst thing you can probably do for your paper is begin with something like, in today's society, humanity has always, since the dawn of time, blah, blah, blah. We're going to try to get you to start very specific and engage with the audience right away with your actual topic instead of kind of like falsely leading them into it. Something I'm also going to try to get you away from doing is stop restating your thesis in the conclusion. We just read a whole paper about your thesis. I don't need to read it again. I know it's helpful to help make that conclusion longer, but I'm going to give you some tools and strategies on how to simply make your conclusion longer and more meaningful by answering something I'm going to talk about as the so what question. We're going to talk about how you can do this, but it's really just answering the question, what does the arguable point, why does the thing that you're arguing matter? Why should people care? We'll be talking more about organization and structuring your papers in the next few weeks of class, and I'll discuss specifically what I want for Unit Paper 1. But until we get there, I wanted you to understand where you've probably been and where you want to go. And in the meantime, if you have questions or concerns, feel free to stop by my office in Arts and Science Hall 189A during office hours, or send me a message in Canvas or through my email. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.